Yo, what is going on, guys? Clutch back again with another video for you guys. Today is going to be another tactics video, and it is the 4-4-2. 4-4-2 is one of the best formations on the game, and it's a formation I think I can really kind of help you guys use and try and find the best way to use it. Before we do get into it, if you can, please drop a like, drop a sub, drop a comment, let me know you want to see from me in the description. And yeah, guys, before we do get into it as well, obviously I do have my weekend league service, Improve Your Rank. If you do want your weekend league games played by me or Jamboo or one of our other pros, visit the link down below and use code CLUTCH. I think you can get 10% off with that. So yeah, do that down below. So yeah, we are going to go into the tactics. It is a pretty simple one. It's the 4-4-2, like I said. So defensive styles unbalanced. Again, I just don't really feel like this needs any pressure tactics, really. I just don't really find it adds too much to it. As well with the 4-4-2, it's a bit more of a structured way of playing. It's not really as erratic as maybe a 4-3-2-1, where you can use some press tactics and things like that. Whereas for me, the 4-4-2 is very structured in the way you want to play. And using stuff like fast build-up and pressure tactics, a lot of the time it moves players out of position, so isn't really for me. The width is on 45. That is because basically I do want those fullbacks just tucking in ever so slightly, making sure that they're not basically causing too much separation between them and the centre backs and leaving room for through balls. So yeah, 45 width for me. The 71 depth is obviously because of the 71 depth press like thing that's in the game this year. I don't really know what else to call it apart from a thing. Now obviously what that does is it basically helps your team press the ball. And it does it at a ridiculous pace and a ridiculous way that means that it's just so busted. So you should be definitely using 71 depth if you have any intentions of pressing the ball. And for me, it's just so good this year that I just don't see why you wouldn't. Now the build-up play is unbalanced. Again, you could maybe use a long ball or something if you were trying to play a bit more counter-attacking style. I wouldn't use fast build-up for this. I just don't think it makes sense. So for me, balance is just the best way to do it. Just because I think none of them perfectly suit the formation, and I think balance is so solid anyway that you just can't really go wrong. Chance creation is on direct passing. Obviously, we all know how good direct passing is. If you don't, what it does is basically your strikers, if they have high attacking positioning, and especially if they have high pace as well, they make really good in-behind runs without you having to register it yourself, basically with the LB button. It will do it for you. And obviously with how good the game is this year with through balls and things like that, it just makes sense to do it. It's just through balls are absolutely busted, so direct passing is always the way for that. Now the attacking width is on 40. That is just because I do want those left mid right mids to be a bit narrower, a bit more involved in the attack. So for me it does make sense. If you don't like that and you want them to stay a bit wider, then maybe put it up a bit. But for me, 40 width is definitely the best way to do it. Now, players in the box is on 7. Now, this is mainly because as we are obviously going to have wider players, we do want to be using those cutback crosses and the cutback passes, things like that, the back post crosses. All of that stuff means that you do need bodies in the box. Now, obviously, you don't need everyone in the box, but you want a fair lot of, like, you'll maybe want a midfielder or so. You want your 2 strikers. You want the opposite winger to be at the back post. You want all those options. And for me, 7 players in the box has been the best for that. So, like I said, 7 players in the box is the way. Corners and free kicks, it is really just up to you. There isn't too much to that. Obviously, this is how I've got the team laid out. And this is the instructions. So, I do have both strikers on stay central getting behind. That is obviously because I do want them to go into the central areas, and I also do want them to make those getting behind runs. It really is as simple as that. I'm not trying to tell you guys stuff to really overcomplicate it. I want to give you guys tactics that are good, solid, easy to understand, and you know what's going on. So like I said, stay central getting behind, nothing too crazy there. I do have both of my centre mids just on stay back while attacking cover centre. Now that is mainly because obviously we don't have a lot of central support. So obviously do want both of them to stay in the central areas, and I also want them to help defend, because like I said, apart from those 2 centre-backs, there isn't a lot in the centre there. We don't have maybe a CDM or a player like that can help protect that back line. So you do just have both of them on stay but while attacking. Now, both of my wingers are on come back on defence, cut inside, getting behind and getting to the box across. Now, you might look at come back on defence and think that's way too defensive and that they won't go forward. Trust me, that's not how the game works. They do bomb forward still. It just means that when we are defending, they will come back as well, help defend. It does drain a bit more stamina, but it's definitely worth it. Cut inside is obviously, like I said, I just do want those wingers to be a bit narrower and be a bit more involved in the attack. So I do have cut inside on. Getting behind is obviously to make those in behind runs behind the fullbacks, behind the centre backs, down those wide areas, and obviously be available for those cutbacks and just be bombing in behind. And I do have them obviously on getting to the box across as well, as I explained earlier, for back post crosses, cutbacks, all that stuff. Now I do have both fullbacks on stay but while attacking and overlap. Now obviously that is because I want to be able to defend still, so I do want defensive options there. But also if they are going to go forward, I would rather have them on overlap where they're going to hug the byline, so then it opens up space for my wingers to push into the narrower areas, but we still have wide options as well. So that's why I have that on both of my fullbacks. Both of my centre backs are on default instructions, and my keeper is on comes for crosses and sweeper keeper. That is because crosses are so broken that I'd rather my keeper to try and come and catch it, and sweeper keepers because a lot of the time I find if you bring the keeper out, it'll put people off. So I tend to do that a lot as well. But yeah, guys, hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, like I said, please drop a sub, drop a like, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.